What is up, everybody? My name is Pete and I play music. So last week I flew to Germany, met and hung out with some of my favourite YouTubers and got to film videos all week at Thomann, Europe's biggest music store, and it was awesome. So while I was there, I rounded up as many people as I could find for a Q&A and asked them your questions that you had submitted on Instagram. How do you start songwriting? Is there a process that you go through, or is it spur of the moment?
So for songwriting, I actually, I like to, rather than writing the whole guitar part at once and then filling in like the drums, bass, vocals, whatever, I like to record like one 8-second chunk of guitar, and then I'll record like an 8-second chunk of bass, program, or record, 8 seconds of drums, do a little bit of vocals, and I literally piece the whole song together in chunks, and then I'll just re-record the whole thing at the end.
If you could go back in time and give your beginner self one piece of advice, what would it be?
Okay, so when I was a beginning bass player, I was very concerned with making money because I saw some musician friends and some people who were my mentors at the time who taught me, who were very concerned with working musician lifestyle, like what it would mean to be a working musician, how you would actually survive, meaning teaching and playing gigs. And so I was always thinking about that aspect of my bass playing, that aspect of my musicianship. I was thinking about how I would survive after college. And that kind of led me down this road where I wasn't thinking in terms of bigger picture things, like artistic things, and letting myself actually follow what it is exactly I wanted to do. And I think for me, just knowing me personally, Adam Neely, I would tell myself that it's okay to follow down purely artistic whims of pleasure, just going down and actually making myself feel okay with not worrying about making money as a musician. For so long, that's all I really cared about. And it's kind of an odd sort of thing, but that is for me what I would tell my younger self.
What would you say to a beginner guitarist to help them stay motivated?
I think the most important thing as a beginning guitarist is to keep your practice fun. You know, if you get too involved in, of course you have to practice and get better and use a metronome, but balance that out with stuff that you like to play, whether it's blues, whether you want to play like Engel, whether you want to play like, any different guitar player. Just balance your regimen of technique and metronome and everything else with something that makes it fun to practice. Because if it's not fun to practice, eventually you're going to stop doing it. So I would just keep it fun.
How long did it take to start growing on YouTube?
So I started YouTube in January 2016. That's when I started actually putting effort into the channel, and I didn't really get any sort of growth for the first 6 or 7 months. So I was posting videos almost every day and not getting that much feedback, which was discouraging, but I loved playing music and making videos so much that outweighed the discouragement. So I just kept going, and eventually I made a video called Overplayed Guitar Store Songs, and that went pretty crazy on the YouTube there. And after that, people discovered all my education content and other videos that I'd created, and it started to snowball. So it was really one big video, and then a couple other ones had the same effect afterwards because so many people were flying into the channel. But really the foundation of the channel was all that work that I put in when no one was watching. So I think that's the most important thing for any person who wants to do YouTube, is there's going to be times when you think you shouldn't be doing it because nobody's watching, and those are the times when you should actually try your hardest because success is just right over the hill.
Was it scary trying to become a professional musician? And did the thought of trying to support yourself from your music ever make you want to go into another profession?
To become a professional musician has never ever been a question for me because my dad is a bass player, so I grew up with music and I've always been to his concerts, and it has never been like music was something strange. So I knew when I was 4 that I want to become a musician, and didn't want to become anything else ever since. And that's the only thing that I can do, play guitar.
3 tips for starting a YouTube channel.
So my 3 tips for starting a YouTube channel. Number 1, work on your craft. Whatever you want to then advertise on YouTube or talk about on YouTube, make sure you have your own unique style in it. If it's guitar, practice a lot. With singing or with songwriting, make sure that you are a gigged songwriter before you even start YouTube. But number 2, be prepared to, once you start YouTube, you can't really stop. So make sure it's a subject that you're never going to run out of things to say about. So it has to be broad enough, but sort of niche enough. My third and final tip has to be, when you do upload on the same day every week at the same time. And, just focus on one video a week initially and then build from there.
What's your favourite distortion pedal?
Can I just do that?
Yeah. Who's your biggest inspiration?
I don't really have one main inspiration. I mean, like early on, there was bands like Judas Priest, Iron Maiden, that kind of thing that really inspired me to pick up a guitar. But later on in life, it became guys like Joe Dorowski, who overcame adversity in the film industry and went on to create something cool like the Engel. I found that very inspirational. A guy, Louis Zamperini, I read the book about him, Unbreakable. That was incredibly inspiring. And that's kind of makes me get up off my ass and go do cool stuff, or at least try to anyway. Henry Rollins was another big one. If you ever read Get in the Van, I found that book very, very inspiring about getting shit done.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Hope you enjoyed that. Before I wrap up, I just want to mention that my buddies Fluff and Jared Dines are going out on tour with the band Rest Repose this month. They'll be on the road from June 10th to July 20th across the states, and chances are they'll be playing a show near you. Check out the description below for all the details and dates, and I think they're even giving away a guitar, which is really cool. All right, that'll do it. Thanks for watching, everybody, and until next time, my name is Pete, and I play music.